You are Off the Edge with Matt and Zach. No Q this week, but we do have our good friends Darin and Cari Scott, as well as EOE guitar player Darryel Rocky. And today we're talking about homesteading, which is of great interest to, I think, all of us here to one degree or another, which may seem a little maybe off the beaten path from what we have been talking about with a lot of musical guests and stuff, but there definitely is a lot of creativity and problem solving that goes into homesteading. And, we're here to find out more about it with our good friends here. So how about we start with you, Darin? Why don't you kind of tell us what is homesteading and like what kind of got you interested in it?
Well, homesteading is basically a lifestyle of self-sufficiency. We just want to be less dependent upon government, on grocery stores, on having to go anywhere to get our food. So we do meat, rabbits, squirrels, deer. We process cattle. We do a lot of gardening. We have some food forest, and we just wanted to be a little more self-sustainable.
Stick it to the man.
That's right. Amen. Amen.
I think I can vouch for all of us. We could say we really appreciate DIY for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And especially right now, I think that with the coronavirus and all the stuff going on, we kind of realize how vulnerable we can be when, supply chains get shut down.
Absolutely.
So it's...
Cari and I were just talking about that tonight, about how it's going to get in the fall and how we perhaps ought to be ready, maybe start preparing flours, oats, other things.
Yeah. So things that like dried goods or canned goods that might be able to last.
That may be hard to get to.
Sure.
Come this fall if it sells out at the grocery stores and whatnot, and you can't get a hold of it.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense.
Out of everything, it was toilet paper.
Well, I don't know if anybody's ever figured that out, have they?
2 weeks before this all happened and everybody went crazy for the toilet paper, Colby, he's my youngest son, he came home, we sent him to the grocery store to pick up toilet paper, and he got like the 18 roll pack of the jumbo rolls, the ones that you can get them on the holder, but they rub against the wall. They won't, so every sheet breaks off because it.
Yeah.
Anyway, a week and a half ago, we had to buy more toilet paper.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys did an excellent job of preparing.
Yeah. And it was just because he got the wrong thing, but hey, it worked.
I've actually started a crop of
toilet paper.
Yeah. It's about to come in. I'm gonna be rich.
Yeah.
Look, Cari, how about you? Is this something that you've been interested in a long time, or is it
you get pulled in?
Yeah, no, probably more accidental for me. And it's because I homeschool, and so this just naturally was something that the kids and I got involved in helping. And then, of course, I want to try to get rid of as many chemicals in our house as possible, and so that helps with that too.
Well, that's awesome though that you got the kids involved, because then boom, that's a life skill. Basically.
Absolutely.
And please tell us about, because I go to the farmer's market. I don't go. I'm usually working. Yeah. But my wife goes to the farmer's market every week and invariably sees your daughters there and gets at least a few items from them. And we're always super impressed by them. And in extension, by you, fostering this in your children. So
By Cari.
Well, okay, sure. I meant the collective you, the royal you.
Right, I'll take a little credit. Okay, thanks.
But what kind of hand do they have in the preparation and the selling and stuff? Could you run us through kind of the process of that? Because I'm really impressed by it.
Well, they just naturally have to help because there's so much work to do. So they help us with the garden, and then whatever extra produce that we don't utilize for the week, we'll take to the farmer's market. But then an extension of that, they also are interested in earning some money and learning some skills. So they're learning to problem solve and do some baking, and then meeting the needs of the customers and interacting with them. And then, of course, that brings in money management.
Sure.
Too.
Yeah. It's like you're hitting all the areas and
So
All the areas that they don't teach.
right.
Yeah.
And just
Cari has them do all their shopping, all their, they go over the ingredients they'll need. They make their own grocery list. They write it down and they go shopping, and
With their own money.
they pay for it. And, they just know that expenses come out of gross income. So
Yeah. That's great.
And then one of my daughters is more interested in doing some body products. So she does bath salts, lotion bars, and things like that.
yeah,
Also,
that's really
Yeah.
cool. It seems like something I'm always preaching to my daughter is that, with every bit of freedom comes an equal proportion of responsibility. And I think that you're not just talking about it; you are.
Yeah.
It's just ingrained in every step of the process that you're doing. So I just
Right.
when I heard you talk about that the first time, that really blew me away. I was like, man, that's so smart.
and everything they do at the farmer market has to be homemade or grown on your own farm. You can't go out and buy
Right.
anything from anybody or
Right.
or do any of that. It has to be done yourself. So the girls make their own stuff. They look up the recipes. They have their own molds. They do it all their own. Yeah,
That's really cool.
bacon and all. Yeah.
It's funny. Obviously, my kids went to public school and stuff like that. But one thing and I've talked to them about it too. One thing that I've noticed is, so one, I'm the youngest kid, so I'm spoiled anyway. But I also got an allowance
we
and stuff
know your
like
type.
Yeah.
I'm the youngest too, but by 5 minutes I have a twin brother, so I can say anything.
Don't you feel sorry for his parents?
Yeah. No. I got an allowance and stuff like that, and I hated chores and everything like that. And my kids hate chores and stuff like that. They don't get an allowance. Never did. And so, it was always a fight to get their chores done, do stuff like that. As soon as they could get a job, though, they bust their ass at the job because they're getting paid. So having to do chores and not getting paid, I think made them appreciate paid for work.
Sure.
Because both of them do great at work. They're still pains in the ass when we need chores done, but.
And the other thing in that is like, you don't expect payment from family. It's like, you help family. Like, family helps you and you help family.
Yeah. We do give our kids small allowance. Small.
but I feel like that's important though, because they need to learn tithing and they need to learn saving and they need to learn spending. They don't get much, but it gives them the opportunity to practice allocating those funds while they're still in our home instead of getting out on their own and then
makes a lot of sense.
Boom, being confused by all that.
Yeah, but everything else that you're talking about, having them work, but then seeing the fruits of their labors and stuff like that.
Right.
When you're taking out the trash, you don't really see the fruit of your labor there. So, giving an allowance for that, for something that needs to be done, as opposed to, like Colby's working at Dollar General, so some service related, some service industry type thing.
Yeah, and some things they need to do just because they're part of the family.
Yeah.
Some
Well,
things
you
they
can't-
don't need paid for.
Plus, you can't not like water your chickens in the middle of summer; they'll die. So, like these things are important for them to know. This is not optional.
Yes. Yeah.
Taking notes on chicken.
I was about to say, so tell me more about that. So, we just got chickens back in the spring, and they haven't laid yet. We built a tractor,
you're going to be in the money soon. They'll start laying soon.
Good.
and first year poults, they'll lay through winter time. So you'll get eggs all through winter. And this will be the only time that you'll get eggs all through winter. Well, you get a few, but you'll get a lot.
How many chickens did you get?
8.
Yeah.
8, yeah.
So you get 7 or 8 eggs a day, every day, all winter.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
I'd say 5, 6 to 8, yeah.
So once they mature, they don't lay in the winter, though?
Right. Not after the first winter, they'll lay, but it's all based on how much light they get in the daytime. So they'll lay eggs consistently as there's more sunlight, but as the light decreases in the fall into the winter, they'll quit laying quite as much eggs. Yeah.
Put them in a tanning bed.
Yeah, unless you put a light on them.
hey, tanning bed. Some people can. Supposedly, chickens have, when they're born, have all the eggs in them that they're going to make. So if you let nature do its course, and they're going to take some time off in the fall and winter and not lay. But if you put a light in there, they'll keep laying consistently. Okay. So, but they're not going to lay as long, as for as many years.
Right. They run out. So
and when they get 3 or 4, they'll start their egg production gradually goes down. So now if you put the light on them, it'll go down sooner. So you'll have to replace your flock sooner.
Uh-huh.
Or as some people do, get attached to their chickens and just have pets because they're done laying, which we're not going to do. We'll make chicken noodles or something.
Yeah. Well, my wife's talked about getting some meat chickens also. And so, but I got a feeling that these could become meat chickens if they don't produce. We've been telling them, pay up rent.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
So what's this about not watering in the summertime then? What do you mean?
She was just being facetious.
Oh, okay.
Like they have to be responsible. Like, you can't not water your chickens.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've talked about getting meat chickens, and I think we will. We've actually made a, what do you call that?
A chicken tractor.
A chicken tractor.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just made it out of cattle panels. Chicken tractor, which is movable, which you can put your chickens in. It's got hardware cloth on the outside of it that you can move around. But we haven't done it yet. But I think we're going to try to get some meat chickens this fall.
Yeah.
Cornish cross, supposedly the best meat chicken you can get. I've done a little research on it. From chick to ready is about, I think it's 6-7 weeks. So you can go from a little chick to ready to butcher.
That's fast.
Yeah, very fast. Faster than like our layers, which there's some chickens that are considered just meat chickens, and then there's some that are just
Dual purpose.
Dual purpose chickens. Yeah, which you could do either one. You can, but as older they get, the tougher they'll get. So we'll just use those for like doodles,
soups and stews.
Yeah, you can put it in
like
Instapot.
Yeah, put them in a spot. Yeah,
Throw them in a crock pot.
Yeah, something. Yeah, cook them slow and low. Supposed to tenderize.
Yeah,
The older
yeah.
Slow and
Just pull
low,
them apart
that is
afterwards.
The
Yeah.
tempo.
That's right. Hey, that's Beastie Boys.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Darryel, what's got you kind of interested in the whole homesteading thing and getting chickens and all this? How'd you get into it?
Well, I'm not officially into it, but we're working on it.
By proxy.
And as I was saying before we got started, I was involuntarily interested. But I've always actually I've been interested in doing something like this for a while. Long story short, we always thought that our in-laws, we always thought we'd like to buy their home, and they have about 5 acres. And when the opportunity arose, we went ahead with it. And I always wanted to have, some cows or something. I was like, we got all this land, we don't want to just sit there, I want to do something with it. So now we got some chickens. I'm in the process of building a barn, getting my barbed wire fence up. Excuse me, I ain't moving too fast on it, but
Takes time. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're not set up for it yet, but we're in the process of it. And right now we have 8 chickens. 6 are, I can't remember the breed, buff.
Oh yeah, Buff Orpington.
Yeah,
Orpington.
Buff, yeah. And 2 production reds. So my wife, she got laid off from her job in January, and she just started watching a bunch of YouTube videos and a bunch of people that are doing this for a living and successful with it. And she really wants to get into us having raw milk, and so that's part of the motivation also. So
you could do goats. We have goats, milking goats.
Yeah, she keeps talking about it, and my inner city boy is like, all right, well, I'll try it. I will try it. She brought home. She went to Kansas City to visit her sister a couple weeks ago, and they stopped at a farm along the way, and she brought back some raw milk, and I was like, oh my God, this is the best ever.
For cow milk?
Good.
Yeah,
Cow milk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Might have been Jersey cow. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just great. I was just like, wow, why can't we have this all the time? So.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, and I guess there's people around here that really want it. They want it. Do you guys sell some of your wares other than the farmers market? I mean, some of your goods and things.
Go ahead.
We haven't sold any goat's milk, just primarily because you can't advertise it. And
Yeah. Well, I heard they changed the law on that. I heard.
really,
Yeah.
I heard that the other day too.
Yeah.
I heard that the other day too.
So now you
Yeah.
can actually let people know, hey, I got some raw milk. You want to come
Yeah.
get some?
Yeah.
So.
Before I knew the law was that you could only advertise on your farm, like you could put up a sign, but you couldn't advertise on Facebook or anything like that.
Right.
So they did change that.
Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I'm
that's-
not sure either.
That's what
I
my
think
wife was telling
I
me.
think all this quarantine stuff has really kind of pushed people backwards as far as
Oh, probably.
Right.
being
Kind of
able
loosening
to
things up
yeah,
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say forward.
Well,
Yeah, that's what I was
but
gonna say.
I mean, but backwards in time,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
You know, to a simpler time.
That just seems like a ridiculous law to me. So,
Yeah.
And, I know they're, they can have farmers say, hey, if you let this sit for too long, it's not going to be safe to drink.
right?
But, that's with any milk. You let your milk sit out on the counter, it's not going to be safe to drink. So,
Right.
Yeah,
And the key to that, like most foraging or harvesting, is time. Just like animals, you want to get the guts out of them fast. You want to get them cool fast. Vegetables, you want to get in and processed fairly quickly.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I worked at a butcher shop for about a years ago. And so you guys say you process your own beef on your land?
We don't. We have a friend that Zach and I both work with that he's been taught how to butcher, and we've gone over there and we've done beef and hogs with him.
just for ourselves, though.
Just for ourselves,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not selling.
I think that would be a tough job to do in an outside environment.
It's actually fun, really.
I've done deer, but I've never done a cow or a pig.
He actually, this friend has a cooler that he got from a convenience store in town. It went out of business. So he put this cooler inside of his barn. So it's a fully encased cooler that he can keep at whatever temperature he wants. And so he can butcher, skin, gut an animal, hang the animal in the cooler for whatever time it needs. And then, he's got another area of the barn we just pull out, and whenever it's time, we can cut it up.
Yeah,
And
that's great.
then we take it in, and the girls, he's got a grinder in the kitchen. We cut up roast or just cut up burger meat and for the grind, and it's good to go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
really good.
yeah. I have another buddy, and lives over in Elk City, who him and his father-in-law, they've done deer for probably
Years.
20 some years, processed deer for people, and he's got a cooler in his barn. They quit doing it last year, but they done it for 20 some years. So he's the one that got me into hunting probably about 8 or 9 years ago. He was a friend of mine that I met in high school. We worked at a gas station together. We used to go fishing all the time together. And then he finally got me convinced to go hunting. And now I'd rather hunt than fish because it's just so much fun. You're with nature, just awesome. But so they've taught me a lot, and this guy I work with has taught me a lot. Yeah, now I can't. I could do a deer by myself, but as far as getting a hog or a steer or something, these guys have the knowledge. So I'm a helper. And I don't mind being a helper.
That's a lot. That's a lot of weight to get up in the air too. So
and they'll quarter them out. The bigger stuff, deer. You can any of us could handle a deer, but as far as the steers and hogs, halves, all of us could handle. The beef, they just do quarters, and we can all handle quarters. Yeah. So.
That's something I've learned because a lot, like Darryl's wife is really into getting interested in homesteading. My own wife is getting really interested in it. We're looking for, we're about to put our house on the market. We're about to get a place. She wants land. So if all that works out, I may be in Darryl's shoes here very shortly where we're getting into this too. But one thing I've known just from, we strive to buy, and we have for several years now, buy all of our meat from local farmers. And we found that there is a lot of regulation on processing meat. There's a lot of red tape and a lot of oversight that adds to the cost and stuff. And I'm not one to say that all regulation is bad, but in this case, it seems like it's really prohibitive. So this is just another instance of where, like, knowing how to do these things yourself or knowing, I mean, it's so beneficial.
It's probably a skill that all of our grandpas and our great grandpas, all of them knew how to do. But the society's gone from small farm to big corporations, and it's just a lost art because nobody does it.
Right. And we get into factory farming and all this industrial farming and stuff. We could go on a big rant about that. I think that we're probably all on the same page as far as that goes. But
I think we're going to see more of a return to open farm, cattle.
I think we really need. I think just society needs to be more locally sourced. We need to go farm to table.
Yeah.
More as much as possible. That's the most sustainable way to do it.
The main deal is when did it start? After World War II, probably people started moving off of small farms into the cities. It's more of a industrialized nation, so people were looking for convenience, and people so such a fast-paced world. Everybody wants something easy, something that's convenient, and this is not.
No, it's super time consuming.
This is
honestly,
not easy.
Even if you just have a garden,
it's very very rewarding, but it's not easy.
As my wife was watching these homestead videos, and I walk in, I go, all I see is work.
It is.
Work.
It is.
Listen, I was born and raised till the age of 13 in Los Angeles, California. Like, I'm not a rural person, like, at all. I'm like the city kid. So, that was my initial reaction too. But over the last several years, we've been like locally sourcing. We haven't been doing it ourselves, but we've been getting farm direct as much as possible, and the quality.
That's what I was just going to say.
Just so it's above and beyond.
Yeah.
Like I mean, she made me a believer in it.
Plus the peace of mind of not having all the antibiotics in your meat,
exactly,
and all the chemicals on your vegetables,
right,
is just worth a lot.
When your kids, they're not going to sit on video games because there's too much work to do, and they're you got to get the whole family involved in helping.
Right. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I'll never forget a long time ago split half a beef with my dad. It's the first time we'd ever done it outside of going to the grocery store and getting it. And I'll never forget the first time I fried up some hamburgers. First off, you open the package and the meat's red. It's not pink like at the grocery store, right? Mm-hmm. But you season it and you throw in burger patties, and it smells like you're cooking a steak. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's lots of tricks.
It's hard to go back. You know?
Yeah. And there's lots of tricks that grocery stores do to keep that red color.
Yeah.
And they can even bring that red color back.
Most of it's just pink.
Yeah.
Which pink isn't bad. It's the gray that I don't like.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So how long do you guys normally let your beefs hang?
I think the guy that we do beef with, usually 7 to 10 days.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've listened to and done some research. It's all based on rigor mortis. After rigor mortis sets in, meat just starts getting tender after rigor mortis. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's a certain time to let it get tender to spoilage, but it just gets tender. That's why if you were to go, and I just listened to a podcast the other day about this. Guys they go hunting and then they, they shoot a deer and they pull out that backstrap. They want to eat that backstrap, and they grill that backstrap right away. They put it on fire as soon as they get it out, and that's as this podcast said, not the best eating experience because it's tough because that animal hasn't gone through rigor mortis and gone through the tenderization of the meat after.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There were some folks when I worked there. They wanted their beeves to hang for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And my boss would be so mad. He goes, "They're going to start to mold."
Yeah. That's
right.
I had a buddy that he had one customer, the one that him and his father-in-law did meet. He had one guy that wanted the deer to hang for several weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah.
Well,
and they got deer coming in.
Yeah, they're not trying to
cool and spoil, but that was their requirement. But
Which I'm a fan of Joe Rogan's podcast, like freaking half the world is, I guess. But he had a chef on there that was all about aged beef, and he's like, talking about the room that he'd aged in. It was all about kind of this like a biome almost, like that, because there's certain fungus in the room, and the air circulation had to be this certain way, and take the dimensions of the room, and it's like calculate how enough time for it, and it would grow like kind of crust on it.
Yeah.
And then,
and I think that comes from, if I remember right, that there's a wet aging process and a dry aging process, and a lot of them gets the crust on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I found that really interesting. Like, I guess I'd try it.
Yeah.
But it sounds a little weird to me, but I'd try it.
There's I can't remember. It's pressed meat. It's it was Turkish, and they still make it, but it is not cooked. It's pressed to push all the fluids out and slow dried over time, and it's not cooked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they do it with beef.
What they do is they sprinkle some Turkish hashish on there, and then
you don't care. Yeah. But I thought that was. But I mean, you think about it. Beef jerky is not cooked. Mm-hmm. It's dried, but it's not cooked. So it's just the way they prepare it. They wrap it, press it, and I can't remember what the wrappings were.
They mummify it. That's mummified
Pretty
cow.
much. I mean, that's the region, after all. But yeah, you cut into it, and it's like a dark wine red. So I mean, it's dried, but it still retains, I guess, all the flavor. I don't
Interesting.
know.
Yeah. And
I'd be real scared to do something like that, But
yeah, like the first guy that did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that aging process, from the way I understand it, is it just you can preserve meat many different ways, but that aging process just brings out different flavors in the meat.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I think it's all a matter of preference. Like we were saying, some people want it aged a little longer.
Yeah.
Some people like it right away.
Black mold. Black mold's bad. I've heard black mold's bad. The toxic mold. But some molds, they scrape up.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, you got
some mushrooms are fine to eat. Some are not.
Oh, yeah.
Some are fun, but
I'll take your word for it.
I don't know, but that's what they tell me.
That's that mushroom that they put on all the kids' books. The mushroom that's red with white dots.
Yeah. That's the psilocybin.
And Amanita muscaria.
Yeah.
That's the psychedelic mushroom.
Yeah.
It's the one they put on all the kids' books. That's what Carrie and I talk about that. We don't know why they picked that mushroom.
It's a pretty mushroom.
Why not a morel?
That's funny.
Yeah.
A lot of people say,
Subliminal messages.
I could go down a rabbit hole, but a lot of people think that that had that particular mushroom, Amanita muscaria, had a particular role to play in like religious rites and stuff, and kind of developed the way that different religions kind of evolved through the ages. Some people even like ascribe like us coming to consciousness as the mind expanding powers of these things. I don't know. But I think it's interesting.
Yeah. Sure, you don't know.
I don't. Well, I have no idea. But they definitely, like, people take psychoactive substances like that and describe it as having a religious, transcendent experience. So it's not too far fetched that. I don't know. I think that is really interesting.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah,
we've kind of gone far afield, and I apologize.
I've read about somebody that took a mushroom. I don't know how it is, if it's just ingested or what, but this person just walked around a tree for hours and hours and hours talking to themselves. And I guess
secrets of the universe, right there.
Secrets of the universe. Yeah, I don't
talking
know.
To God. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I think it was on Rogan. He's into psychedelics a lot, so he has different scientific guests and different just users or explorers,
intronauts.
Yeah. And it was talking about I think it was psilocybin in Washington State. It's like the largest organism on the planet because it's all connected, and it's like over 30, 40 acres.
I don't think that was necessarily a psychoactive kind of mushroom.
It may have just been
just
mushroom,
some kind of fungus.
Fungus in general. That
right,
was so. It was like a super organism.
Right. That's what they say.
Yeah.
Though that's how I've heard of that of mushrooms. The mycelium under the ground.
Yeah.
It covers acres.
Yeah. And it all talks to each other. So, you know, a mile away, this one gets exposed to some particular toxin. The rest of it adapts, over all of that.
Yeah.
Life is amazing.
Mushrooms are known they use mushrooms on like spills because they're great on absorbing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've read about, like just like a morel. Apple orchards are great places. Old apple orchards are great places to find morel mushrooms. Also, they used to spray herbicides, pesticides in these orchards, and these mushrooms absorb them. So scientists have found, and doctors, that people that forage morels at these old places are dying of cancer from, because they absorb that.
Yeah.
They absorb it and they adapt to it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't kill them.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But that's interesting because that's almost like nature's way of like cleansing the environment.
Yeah.
Which that's really awesome.
Yeah. And then you go out and eat it and it's like, gotcha.
Well, it's revenge. Like you poisoned the place. Now we're getting you back.
Payback.
Yeah, absolutely.
All I know is that when Mario eats the mushroom, he grows twice his size. That freaks me out.
It probably happens to a lot of people that eat mushrooms.
Do any of you guys forage mushrooms?
No. Up until probably this last year, I despised mushrooms. And I've started migrating over to, okay, I'll eat them with this stuff, mushrooms have never been a thing.
I'm really the same way, honestly.
I always hear great things about morel mushrooms, but I've never tried them. Yeah.
Okay.
I am the worst mushroom hunter on the face of the earth.
You're the guy that steps on them, right?
Probably. I can't find anything.
That's because you stepped on them all.
Probably, yeah. I know, and I've done some research. I know you need to take a netted bag and put them in there. That way you spread the spores.
Right.
And I haven't gone out enough though. They say if you want to win, you got to play. Mm-hmm. And I don't.
That's one of my favorite things to do is forage mushrooms. We forage morels, hen of the woods, oyster mushrooms, chicken of the woods. What else do we do? Chanterelles.
Yeah.
Chanterelles probably come up here in a little bit. They're a summer mushroom. And each mushroom favors a certain environment, certain tree, host. So there are so many good edible mushrooms, and most people are just only concerned about a morel mushroom because that's what they heard of and that's what everybody talks about, and that's what they go for. But there's mushrooms that's an April, possibly early May. We found them in early May. Usually it's too hot, it gets too dry by then, and so. But there's also chanterelles. They come up in between a morel and a chanterelle chicken in the woods. Then about now, chanterelles come up. This fall, hen of the woods comes up. Oyster mushrooms, they fruit twice a year. You could go out and you could find them about the same time as morels. And you can I've also picked oyster mushrooms with snowflakes in December. So they fruit twice a year.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's just edible mushrooms, and that's part of what we do on our little homestead. We forage them, we preserve them, we freeze them. We've got 5 freezers, and one of our freezers is just devoted to preserved mushrooms.
Wow!
That we eat through the year.
Wow!
Yeah. It's awesome. Mushroom hunting is like fishing on dry land. Almost as fun as going fishing. If you're a fisherman, you love it. Yeah. Absolutely.
I got a lot of friends that do go out and hunt, and they ain't trying to give up their honey holes. Mm-hmm. So, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, that's the old saying is, man and a wife. Sometimes they don't tell where their morel spot is in case they get divorced. They don't want the other one to get it.
I guess I need to try them.
I've gone out by the walk-in at Big Hill, the walk-in hunting area and stuff. And but I've never. But I'm glad we're recording this. I'm gonna go back and check out all those mushroom. I don't want to say brands.
If
types of mushrooms.
Yeah, you just got to. I just kind of self-taught, and I've got through the state where I can sell mushrooms. How many?
Yeah, you're certified.
4 or 5 different kinds. Yeah, so.
You just have to.
Not that we want to sell them.
To be able to identify them properly.
Identify properly. Yeah. Supposedly you're supposed to be certified to be able to sell mushrooms, like on Facebook or if you go to a farmer's market to sell mushrooms, you're supposed to have a certification.
Well, again, if you get the wrong one, that could be fatal. So
absolutely, yeah. And all of them. All of them have some that look like it, but once you really start foraging, you're going to be able to tell. Like a chanterelle, there's a mushroom that kind of looks like chanterelle, but there's 5, more than 5 different things where you can tell. There's a jack-o'-lantern mushroom that kind of looks like a chanterelle mushroom. The jack-o'-lantern mushroom will make you vomit and sit on the toilet for days. Now this one, the chanterelle, will be.
Don't get on Darin's bad side, guys.
Right?
Yeah, or I'll just feed you a jack-o'-lantern mushroom. But once you get into it and you start foraging, once you get your feet in the forest, it's you'll learn it. Easy to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trick or treat.
There you go. And supposedly they glow in the dark. The nasty one, the jack-o'-lantern.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of glows in the dark. Yeah.
So you say that like maybe hunting now, but fishing, doing mushrooms is probably your favorite? great favorite thing about?
Probably hunting and foraging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
For
on.
mushrooms.
Foraging. He's not doing mushrooms.
No, yeah. I'm sorry. I need to be more precise with my language. I apologize.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I tried to get Carrie to come forage with me, but she doesn't like mushroom hunting.
See, I was trying to get you to agree to that so I could just make a clip of that and just spread it around. Like,
Doing mushrooms.
Darren, you like to do mushrooms, huh? But Carrie, how much land do you guys have?
Well, we have 15 acres, although we don't really utilize it all. What do we use? Maybe 4 or 5?
We probably have 5 acres up front and probably 3. We bought a place probably 3 years ago.
Yeah.
This was an old farmhouse that had been rented out, and this place had mainly had goats, miniature ponies, all that kind of stuff, and it was just way overgrazed. So this place was a nightmare when we bought it.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, from the house to the barn, it was hard to see the barn through all the weeds, which is the way it works. Once you eat pasture down, then it gets depleted of phosphorus, and you just get tons of weeds.
Right.
Weeds, because all ground once covered. Garden, that's why you get weeds. All ground once covered, just because that's good for the ground.
So we don't have any animals on the back, although we can use it to hunt, which is great because then it's right out the back door. So it's easily accessible for us to get back there.
It's actually a natural pathway because we have the rivers behind us. We have crops on one side. We have kind of a
some cover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where they can like the deer sleep.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
So it's a good place to sit back there and hunt.
Yeah, because it's just a corridor. They just go in between food and bedding. So
Yeah.
So we're good.
Do you bow or rifle or both?
I've done a little bit of bow, but I've never got a deer with a bow. I've hunted a couple years with it.
It's tough.
Yeah. And I don't have the patience, and I don't have the time. So that 243 shell reaches a lot farther.
Yes, it does.
Than that arrow.
Yes, it does.
Well, and you don't. You're less likely to have to worry about maiming an animal with the rifle.
You are.
Yeah.
You are. Yes.
It goes a little faster, a little more accurate.
For all you bleeding hearts out there, it's like we all want to be
ethical.
As humane, as ethical as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now those good bow hunters.
Yeah. Yeah.
They make good ethical shots. I know a lot of bow hunters, but
I know I'd mess it up. So
well, there's lots of room. I mean, you have to get so close to a deer bow hunting,
right?
Whereas with a rifle, you can be 100, 200 yards away and still get them. Yeah. Plus, I have hard time seeing greens and reds, so I don't like to track deer after they've been shot, blood trail. So it's just easier with a rifle.
Yeah, but
I don't have to call people.
Right.
Come and help me.
I can't see it. Damn it.
I've killed deer before, and I can't see the blood on the red on the ground. So I call people, and they go, "It's right there. It's right there. Ellie, it's going that way. There, can't you see it?"
So have you guys moved to like solar power, or are you still?
We haven't. No solar power.
Still paying the man.
Paying the man.
Yep.
Electric, gas.
Yeah.
So you said you work with Zach.
Yes.
So you have a job also, or
no longer? No,
okay.
I'm a registered nurse, and I've been homeschooling my girls. Now we just completed our 6th year, so I no longer work
she's
outside
still working.
the home.
Yeah, she's working.
Still working.
But not outside the home.
Yeah.
Right.
She's probably working harder now.
Yeah.
Longer days.
So
that's what we're all going to say.
Yeah.
She's working hard.
and you got to go home with her.
I know.
Smart man there.
I need another beer, so it won't hurt as bad when she hits me.
please.
So, we talked a little bit about your girls being at the farmer's market and stuff, but so Darren, you work full time outside the home. And Cari, you are working with your daughters. That takes up a lot of time, I'm sure. And then also with the gardening and doing all of that stuff. Like 2 questions for you.
Okay.
One, do you guys supplement your income with the things on the farm, or is it just strictly to, or it's not farm, I'm sorry, but your homestead? Do you supplement your income, or are you just doing that for your own sustainability? And then 2, how do you find the time between homeschooling your girls and then Darin, you working a full-time job and then getting all these things done? Like, how do you manage that?
Go ahead and handle the
Okay.
money.
No, we basically just do it for sustainability for ourselves. And then if we have anything extra, then we'll sell that or give it away.
Yeah.
Either one. It would be nice to supplement our income a little bit, but we don't really have a large enough production to supplement it a lot.
And
Is that something you're trying to build toward, or are you just kind of happy you just?
Well, honest.
We've talked about it. I probably think about it more than she does. About more the greens and stuff of maybe visiting more than one farmer's market and whatnot.
Right.
The only thing we can really sell, you can't sell game meat and you can't sell fish. We share it, we give it away to people, but you can't sell that. Probably the only thing we sell is eggs, because we sell more eggs that we don't have eggs to eat, and we have lots of chicken. So we sell eggs and we sell extra
Our garden.
extra
I
garden.
generally get some eggs
Yeah.
for you from time to time, so
Zach's one of my buyers.
and I really appreciate it. They're really good.
Yeah.
I think the key is, though, just for sustainability, to as much production as we can do at home, that we don't have to buy any. The less
Right.
we buy at the store, to me, the better. And so,
neither one of us likes to shop at Walmart. So
Here, so say we all.
It goes around the table.
Even part of homesteading and being self-sufficient is spending less time at Walmart, because we need a few things.
That
Yeah.
would be the goal.
and plus, it's
Yes.
just if you're
Yeah.
putting up food for a whole year. I mean, if we're going to go grow green beans or tomatoes, we're not doing it to eat in the summer. We're trying to produce enough to can,
Yeah.
so that we don't have to buy that all year long. So that takes a lot
Tell
of
them,
product.
why don't you tell them what all you can?
Well, beets, green beans, salsa, spaghetti sauce,
Lots
pickles.
of tomatoes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we put up things too in the freezer. So corn, squash,
Yeah.
all number of things. You can freeze kale and put that in smoothies. Berries.
We have a small farmhouse, but we have an area devoted just for a pantry for canned goods. And then we won't tell you how many freezers we have. We have a freezer just devoted for vegetables. We have a mushroom freezer, a vegetable freezer. We have a deer freezer. We have a fish freezer, and we have an extra goat milk freezer.
Yeah.
You need like a freezer
Okay,
for every
that's fine.
every phylum, every kingdom,
Yeah.
rather.
Yeah.
So what vegetables? What vegetables are good to freeze? What vegetables are bad to freeze?
Yeah, I don't like frozen green beans.
Good
I prefer
question.
to.
That's good.
Yeah. Can those.
Green beans, you can. Tomato products, she cans.
Yeah.
Now, tomatoes,
Now they'll shrink away from the skin, won't they?
if
if
you
you
freeze,
freeze 'em.
But that's a good way to do them when you're busy in the summertime, and then you can can tomatoes when it's cooler, and you don't have to heat up your kitchen.
And you don't have to
Just-
peel them.
Like in November,
Squeeze
yeah.
them out. Yeah.
Just throw them in a pillowcase. I don't know why a pillowcase. That's what everybody says. All the old timers say throw them in a pillowcase. So we'll pick red tomatoes.
Works great.
Just throw them in a pillowcase. Well, a pillowcase full of tomatoes in a freezer, and then you just bring them out of the freezer. And once they start to thaw, that skin comes right off, so you don't have to boil that tomato.
And it's 30 outside, and it feels great to heat up your kitchen.
Yeah,
Right.
Then you
Yeah.
can save a little bit on. Yeah, you can heat up your kitchen. But you do spaghetti and salsa. What else do you do with tomatoes? You just can sometimes just
Right,
tomatoes.
for chili or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So canning, you probably do beans, tomato products. She's done pickled okra,
Oh, yeah, okra.
What
Beets.
lots of dill pickles,
Yeah.
sweet pickles. What else is in the jars? We've done carp. Yes, we've canned carp.
Wow.
It's pretty good, actually.
Really?
carp patties. It's good.
You cook it and then pickle it, or
No, just
pickle it?
we just
pressure cook it.
pressure
Oh,
And then
okay.
make patties with it.
Oh, okay.
pressure cook it for meat, just like in the same pressure cooker she used for vegetables. Except meat's got to cook a long time. Carp's the only thing we've done. We're very excited to start canning deer meat. We want to can meat. You can can meat, and that way it'll save freezer space, and we can just put it in the pantry.
So how would you preserve the meat in the cans? In is there like a salt recipe or something? Or
Yeah, there's
You can
recipes.
you just get in the ball book and there's recipes in there, and so you can do it. But you can can all kinds of things, really, soups and all kinds of things. So instead of having processed food ready to go, you would have homemade canned food.
Absolutely. Chili.
Because then it's ready.
Chili, you can make a big batch of chili, and you can chili. And instead of putting it in your freezer, you can just have the cans in your pantry and pop it out.
Ready to heat it.
so how long does that normally last for?
Well, the recommendations were a year, but I think now they're making sealable lids that are actually 18 months. But
We go longer than that.
Yeah.
Just like freezer stuff, they recommend anywhere 6 months to a year. But we've had fish that's been in the bottom of the fish freezer, because we've had it full of fish, and we've ate it 2 to 3 years later, and you can't tell.
I think you just have to
can't
process
tell
it properly.
That's the main key right there. Is
Well, the
processing.
and you'll know.
Yeah.
You get it thawed out, and you get nope,
Yeah.
not this one. Nope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And we've never really had a problem. I don't think with meat or vegetables, have we?
No.
Really? With
I had a problem with sausage one time, but to be honest with you, the deep freeze got buried in the garage, okay? And Brooke's gotten into doing these green smoothies to help increase her iron level.
we did that for a while.
Yeah. And so we bought a whole bunch of frozen fruits, and so we had to pull some stuff out of the freezer and go to the deep freeze. So I get in the deep freeze. I'm like, hey, got some bags of sausage in there. So I pull it out, and I'm like, it's frozen, at least try it. And thawed it out, and the entire outer shell was gray. And I'm like, sausage is usually that way, right? So I cook it up. It didn't smell bad. It didn't smell quite right, but it didn't smell bad. Took a bite, and it tasted like the plastic wrapper. And I'm like, okay, no. So I threw the rest of it out. But,
Yeah.
you don't know until you try. I mean, sometimes.
I'm opening up myself to be made fun of.
Okay, that is probably
But,
freezer burn. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, to get the plastic, yeah.
And
probably had I skinned
maybe.
to the pink core,
Right.
I'd probably been okay.
And
but-
see, that plastic wrap is only supposed to last. That stuff you need probably to eat within a year.
Right.
But if you do it like the old timers do,
and the paper and
they wrap it in saran wrap and get all the air out, compress it with that saran wrap, and then use freezer paper that is backed with kind of a saran-like material. So you have those extra layers of protection.
Yeah, when
And
we had
shoot,
that-
stuff will last forever.
yeah, when we had that quarter of beef, that's how it was processed and delivered to us.
Yeah.
And
Yes, absolutely.
There were a few. The thing is when you're used to buying hamburger, you're buying steaks, or you're buying roast stuff like when you get like a quarter of a beef or a half of beef, you get cuts that like, what is this?
Yeah.
So that stuff tends to stay in the freezer for a long time until you're down to the last, and you're like,
Where
all right, let's see what it is.
You want to YouTube it and see how to make this a
The
recipe.
mystery meat recipe.
Yeah.
Which that's one thing we learned, which, like I said, we've been locally sourcing our meat purchases, and we got half a hog from a farm not too far from us. I will not say which one. There's no problem with the farm, but the processor that they used gave us everything wrapped in just wrapped in just paper. just normal ass paper, like, and the ham, like a lot of it just went bad in the freezer just really quick because it was not wrapped properly.
As far as like freezer burn?
Yeah, like just it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. I don't know.
So it was wrapped like you're gonna take it home and
it
cook
was like if you just got some construction paper and just kind of like just folded it up in it and just it wasn't great.
Yeah.
So we learned our lesson on that.
And that's a hard lesson.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And that's like a major part of processing is, just like you deer hunt, if you don't take care of that animal as fast as you can, you don't get the guts out, you don't process, you don't get cooled down, your experience is going to be so different. If you take care of that animal, you're going to have a wonderful experience, eating experience, versus if you just like everybody says, you shoot this big buck. Well, bucks are a whole different story, but you shoot this deer and you go drive around, you show all your buddies, and you're driving around for 5 or 6 hours. Well, that animal is not going to be taste near as good as an animal that you take care of right away,
right,
and process right away, and that's where the gaminess gets. People get an off taste, and people judge that because people and bucks are a totally different story because
tough and older.
Yeah, well, you get a buck and a buck is going through breeding season. That buck is so stressed out from it doesn't eat as much, it doesn't drink as much. It wants to mate, and that's its game plan. So it's got a higher stress level. So sometimes it's
like a teenage boy.
Absolutely, it is exactly like that, and that's what they describe it as, just like a teenager. All that's got on its mind is sex.
Just hormones,
party, hormones. Yeah. So sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes that deer is not going to taste as good as if you shot a doe, or a younger deer, even a button buck or a younger buck, and process that. Just because of the stress on this deer and the hormones on this deer, it's just not going to taste as good. I mean, sometimes a big deer will taste fine, but it affects the quality of the meat, the hormones of the deer, all affects the quality of the meat. And sometimes even good processing, getting that deer taken care of right away and doing everything right, you're still going to have a different tasting animal than you would. Yeah.
And that's cool that the physiology of the animal, just the chemical, the natural hormones, just the way they flood the tissues changes the way the animal tastes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But like you said, letting them hang past rigor mortis, and so then is it lactic acid that's released? It kind of breaks down the tissue. Then starts to break down the tissue and makes it tenderizes it.
I know lactic acid is what if you exercise vigorously and your muscles get stiff, that's why.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I need a food science degree instead of postology degree. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well,
but yeah,
we really didn't even get into your bona fides.
Yeah. Who are you?
Yeah. Like, what kind of background do you have, like education wise, and coming into this?
Coming into this, my parents had they had a small little homestead. We had chickens when I was a kid, a few cattle, and my parents always raised a big garden. So, and we used to go visit my grandparents. My grandparents were neighbors out in by Cedarville. One was mainly income was from he was a hog farmer. The other one was a crop farmer. So
okay,
yeah. So a little bit of experience. I mean, just dabbled in it. as far as the gardening.
Right. Because you have a degree from K-State, is that right?
I do.
Does that play into it at all, or is that
not really? I do have a degree in animal science from K-State, but as far as that was more of a degree if I wanted to go work at a
like a wildlife park or something like that, maybe, or
more like they hired out ag loan officers, commercial feedlots, stuff like that, but not
which contradicts what you're trying to do now. Right?
Hindsight 2020, biology, or I almost went into kind of something where I could get a job at wildlife parks or something like that, biology or something like that. But
I think that would be my dream job, just to be a park ranger.
Okay, I'm going to tell you next time it comes
Ranger
open.
Darryel.
Because those come open way more than you think.
Yeah?
In this region.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to let you know. Okay. Because my mom was sick years ago, and I thought about applying. We talked about it, and I thought about it because there's a job opening around here for that, and I thought about it. But, just the benefits where I work and health insurance where I work and the time I have at work,
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna let you know, Darryl. I'm gonna hold you to it.
Well, okay. I ain't gonna lie. My job that I work now stresses me out sometimes. So sometimes I'd like to just be me and the trees.
Yeah.
But then there's gonna be some asshole come up and I'm like, hey man, what are you doing?
Yeah,
I can't be poaching right now.
I shot this deer. What are you gonna do about it?
Drag it over to your property.
Yeah.
It's on my land.
Yeah.
All right, we edit that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I had a question a while ago. How long have you guys been doing this? I'm sorry if I missed it.
No, just really 3 years mainly. I mean,
Okay.
3 years mainly.
Yeah.
So when's the last time you walked into a grocery store for groceries?
We do.
Unfortunately, we still do because
I know there's still some things that you probably can't do on your own that you need a little bit of help with.
There's a lot of people that are off grid, but we're not there. We're just thinking we're more sustainable than most folks.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to learn as we go. And just become, just a little bit more.
Like I said, watching them videos and then watching these folks do what they do, I'm like, wow. I'm in awe of all the sweat, blood, and tears they put into it, and it's just amazing. And then I was, telling my wife, I was like, how the hell does he have time to edit these videos?
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, there's got to be helpers. They've got to have some hands.
So that brings me to a question, and this is something my wife asked me to ask you.
Okay.
Guys, is how did you gather up the knowledge to do this stuff? Are you like Darryel said his wife has been watching YouTube videos and how to do this and that and this and that? Is this something that's kind of just been like you talked about your family, your grandparents, kind of having a hand in homesteading and farming? Is this something that's kind of handed down, or are you looking up?
Not for us, it wasn't handed down, really. I mean, you learned a little bit, but you do tons of research. And then we just trial and error, too.
As far as like, the fish and stuff, we've always fished. My family always fishes. So as far as harvesting and preserving fish, I know that. Gardening, I learned a lot from my parents as far as gardening. Chickens, I had a background. I hated chickens since I was a kid because we always seemed like we butchered chickens when my dad was at work. I don't know how that worked out, but me and my brother, we'd have to go in and, get the chickens. And my older brother would back in the day where they just put the head, they have more, what do you call it?
Humane
ways of dispatching chicken, but the stump with the two nails and put the head in there and then watch the chicken fly around, which was not good because that animal's stressed while it's flying around, and that's going to make for a worse product. But who knew back then? Right. They have cones now that you put chicken's head in, you twist the head, and it's a much more humane way.
I think honestly the most humane way would probably be to just smash the head.
Yeah.
Because there's probably a little life left in that head.
Well, people do bludgeon fish.
I've heard
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if this is more humane or this seems wild to me. Like, I didn't know this was that people did it this way, but they'd have like metal trailers full of chicken, and they just hook up a battery to the metal trailer, and electrocute them all.
Oh.
I've heard of that being done.
Kind of cook them while you're at it.
Yeah, which I mean, I was like, really? Wow.
Yeah.
But
I used to frog hunt a lot. Probably need to now. It's been so many years that I don't know, with hawks being protected the way they are, it's really kind of killed the frog population, at least the big ones. Mm-hmm. But the way you dispatch a frog after catching it, because we didn't gig or use or 22s or anything like that, so you flip them over.
Hand caught?
Yeah, just hand caught. Yeah, that's the only way to do it. The first frog I ever caught was on top of a big pile of cow shit. And I smashed that frog all the way down into it. But
did it grow?
I'm calling you
use
Stinky
fertilizer.
Thumbs from now on.
Yeah.
You're now known as Stinky Thumbs.
But you flip the frog over on its back and kind of hook the legs in between your fingers, and then you on a brick or concrete or whatever, you just whack, crush the skull and kill it. And I think
it's fast.
It's fast, and I think that's pretty humane. A couple of guys I used to go with. Of course, this was when we were teenagers, and teenage boys are teenage boys. This one guy used to like to grab one leg in each hand.
They're like bucks in a rut. Oh my god!
Planet of the Apes.
Tongue flies out. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But then some of the older guys, because back then everybody, all the older guys that were driving around were the ones, up front drinking the whole night. And there's one guy, he'd do it like I did it, but it'd be like,
oh no,
that's not very humane.
No,
like kill the damn frog.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. But we are in Kansas, so
yeah. Yeah.
Well,
and it's hard to tell what animals feel. I don't know.
Yeah.
You never know. Like, studies show fish have some feelings, but a lot of people
don't do anything with fish. They just fillet them and throw them in the trash.
My wife made me bludgeon the catfish last time we went fishing.
She did?
Yes. She said, I started to cut into it. She goes, what are you doing? I said, filleting the fish. Get a hammer. Seriously? Yes. Okay.
That's great.
You know what?
You should drown it.
Drown it.
That's what you do when you leave it out.
What I like to do with big fish is just like hang them on a clothesline or on a tree, and just get a hacksaw and cut the end of the tail off, and they bleed out. And supposedly, that's very humane because they don't feel it; they just bleed out.
Wow. All right, that's good to know. I did not know that.
Honestly,
now little fish. Now I'm gonna be honest, crappie or bluegill or bass or
let's get it done. Let's just get it done.
Zip,
Yeah, I mean, if you base it off their reaction, they don't react that much when you cut into them. So I really don't think they feel it.
No, they might get a little pissed and hop and damn it, and then you keep going.
But most of that might be I can't breathe.
Well, that could be. Yeah. I ask them, but they don't tell me.
Don't.
Oh goodness.
I was thinking that too.
I wasn't going there. No.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know how many people actually listen to or watch this thing, but I'm just waiting for a vegan or something to come across this episode and just give a shit.
You know what? I'll take him frog hunting. That'd be fun. I need to do that again.
Well, they just eat vegetables, right?
Right.
But there's
no animal products. Yeah.
Soy.
But there's probably a lot of animal fertilizer on those
Oh no,
plants, you know. So
how many
Shit don't count.
shit don't count.
how much like spray you got all these GMO crops that are resistant to I forget the Roundup. I can't remember the glyphosate. Is that right? Glyphosate. Yeah. And how many animals are killed by spraying all that land with that stuff? How many rodents? How many insects? How many lives are
water
lost?
Sources are messed up,
Right?
Things like that.
Yeah, I think there's a real big argument to be made that way more animals die.
Oh yeah,
from that
for the products that vegans eat.
Right.
Yes, I know where you're going. Yes. Yeah.
You know,
So
Yeah.
the ethical argument for veganism almost seems moot to me.
Yeah.
Is what I'm getting at.
Right.
well, even with frogs, you know, I'll do it. I don't like killing anything. I just don't. You know, I do it. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's a natural order to things.
Just drink another beer will be okay.
Yeah. I mean, you get over it. It's not going to haunt my dreams, but you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a natural order to things, and you know, meat has been on our diet. I don't see where leaving meat behind is evolution of our species.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
If anything, all that's going to cause is an overabundance of animals.
Sure. Like we need to hunt deer. Right.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of it's just about controlling the population.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. The thing with deer,
We need to control our population. Can we hunt some people?
I think that's called birth control, but I'm not sure. but
Matt said it. I didn't.
We're getting YouTube's going to censor this.
You've been watching Hannibal on Netflix way too much.
I didn't say I wanted to eat them.
The thought police are going to hear these key words.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
yeah. But you know, the thing with deer is that's what people that don't like hunting and whatnot will be against deer hunting. But actually, hunters are good for deer because they help control the population. As far as there's so many accidents with deer, car accidents with deer. And the thing that they don't realize, if deer numbers aren't controlled, there's an overpopulation of deer. And deer during the winter are so stressed. There's been, if it's a hard winter where there's lots of snow or, there's
not enough to eat, just say it.
Not enough to eat, those deer are going to die.
And they're going to die a horrible death, a way more horrible death than if they were just shot.
Than a quick, clean kill, which also sustains humans. I mean, it's really not even a comparison.
Yeah.
In addition, I will add that deer hunters do more for conservation as far as
absolutely,
yes,
because of all the people talk about the licenses and all the the tags that they got to buy. All that money goes into helping maintain our natural.
That is an excellent point.
Well, and think about people that field dress a deer. All that waste doesn't get wasted.
Right. There's going to be birds,
raccoons, turtles. Sure. All of them eat the remains.
The ecosystem lives.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
It's all.
I think the biggest problem we have with animals right now is factory farming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too many.
So one of the major horrible things about our society right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
One of the major things that has to change.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think of the waste.
Systemically, yeah.
Think of the waste. I mean,
runoff waste.
Yeah. Well, and not just that. I guarantee you, not all of that processed meat gets consumed. I mean,
and I want to clarify something I said earlier in case anyone's going to be like, geek out on me about it. I don't have a problem with GMO foods. What I have a problem with is that GMO foods then allow you to use pesticides and herbicides that are dangerous to other animals and to humans. It's It's like the fact that like corn is GMO is like, the first corn was like one kernel, right? And we selectively bred them like that. You could argue that's GMO, right? But so I'm not saying that the fact that something is GMO in and of itself is harmful to humans, because science nerds will freak out about this.
Well, that's part of the struggle, right?
Yeah. It's like, I want to be precise with my words is what I'm saying, is that it allows you to do things that are harmful to humans and are harmful to the ecosystem.
Well,
I've had a lot of friends also when they talk about being pro GMO, they talk about, feeding people, providing enough food to feed folks. So, there's enough to go around. But if more people took the time to, try to, develop their own food, and if they have the resources. But I mean, somebody in New York, I couldn't see somebody in New York City having, I don't know.
A really good person, in my opinion, to listen to on these sorts of topics is Joel Salatin, who runs Polyface Farms in Virginia. He's he's at the forefront of educating people on sustainable farming. And he has it down basically to a science where he can prove to you that it takes no more land to do this on a community by community basis.
That the guy that's been on Rogan a couple of times?
Yeah, I think he has been on. I didn't know him from there, but yes, I did realize that he's
older guy.
He's an older guy. Yeah. He's a quirky guy. Like, I don't necessarily like his delivery a lot of times, but his information is just spot on. Like, he's my wife is a big fan of his, but
I've heard of him. Yeah, and there's others like Curtis Stone. We watched some of his stuff where he just small market where he's got quarter of acre, makes over $100,000 just growing greens. He has certain greens that he grows and markets to grocery stores and restaurants and whatnot. And he's got a certain rotation, but so that's just telling you, this guy makes a living on a quarter of an acre. All of us can become a little more self-sufficient, even if we live in town and we just have a yard or a backyard.
Right.
We can do our part to become a little more self-sufficient.
Right.
Yeah. And happy times with Karen are, we have a lot of meals we sit down and eat. And she just said the other night, she said, all this we've grown or we've harvested. We didn't have to buy any of this from a grocery store. We sit down and not only does it taste better, it gives us,
it's the gratification.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a satisfaction that comes with that, for sure. That you can't put like a monetary amount on that either. It's
plus you buying all your stuff. That stuff is so much more healthy,
right,
and better for you. You got so many people that are having problems with processed food. Cause so many problems. Hormones. Nobody even knows what
just
it's doing to
look. 70% of people are considered overweight in America. And this whole coronavirus thing, no one is talking about what you can do to make yourself more healthy. Like what we should be eating, what we should be doing, to keep ourselves immune system high. This plays a big part. Fuel your body with healthy foods that are going to sustain it, that are going to boost your immune system.
Yeah, I would rather argue about not wearing a mask.
Yeah, I know, right?
Man up, mask up.
But I'm gonna preach about that. I want to preach about that as I drink my beer, with my belly hanging out. But
so healthy. This is gluten free. No. No, I don't know. I am skeptical sometimes of the stuff that's put into our food and things like that. But rightfully so. I think we should be skeptical of what we, But then again, here I go being a hypocrite. So I'm just gonna shut up now. So how do you guys take vacations? Like if you got to take, if you're maintaining the homestead, how do you take vacations?
Dude, that's an
I
awesome
see
question.
that. Yeah, I see that look on their face. Like, what's a vacation?
Yeah.
Well,
Friends
Yeah.
will come help us, Yeah. So we have to depend on other people.
and we don't take many. We don't. Go
No,
on
but if we
vacation.
do want to go, I mean, we've gone a few times and we've had,
Yeah. Greg's came out and helped us. The
Yeah.
guy that we work with. Yeah. He'll come out and do chores for us and stuff. But yeah, we don't take big vacations, and I don't know if that's a time issue or
one income.
a sacrificial issue with one income, choosing to homeschool the kids. That decision was a bigger decision. Carrie,
And we're committed to live debt free too.
yeah. And
So-
Carrie
That's
made,
amazing.
Carrie made more money.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Carrie made more money than I did. I mean, we used to, we had a house in the burbs. Anyway, we had a $150,000 house, and a little yard. We probably sprayed chemicals on, and it just wasn't very gratifying.
Exactly.
God spoke to Carrie. She homeschooled, need to homeschool, and we just changed. It's just kind of a sacrifice you make. The guys at work make fun of me for eating out of plastic bags when I take my lunch to work. Or you just, you don't have the money to go out to eat every day.
Well, yeah, but I think the proof is in the pudding. It's you're living a meaningful life. You're teaching all these valuable skills to your daughters. I don't think I mentioned it while we were recording, but I think I said it before we were recording that, or maybe I did. I don't know. That with freedom comes responsibility, and so you need to make those sacrifices to live the meaningful life that you want to live. And
hopefully, when we get old, we'll have one of our daughters will take care of us, and not say no. We're sticking your ass in a nursing home because our childhood was terrible.
I can't see that. I can't see that happening. I can't see it happening.
I take leftovers all the time too, and once in a while I'll splurge and I'll have some fast food or something, and I feel like crap afterwards. So
it does. Yeah, we could talk about that. I've noticed difference drinking since Carrie milks. We've got 2 milk goats. Mm-hmm. How long have you been milking?
A few months, not too long.
A few months. How much milk we get a day?
6 quarts.
No, 6?
Yeah.
Or 3?
6.
6 quarts. Okay. Just drinking goat milk versus homogenized cow milk. Something about it. I was just bloated all the time, and drinking her the goat milk. I mean, she doesn't make it, but she milks them. But,
right.
But I don't have that problem, and I think it's more, just natural.
Well, you've talked me into it. All right, Marcy.
Yeah.
We'll get a goat.
All right, she's going. She's
gonna happen.
You
It's good to start small, right?
Yeah, well, but you got
Yeah.
you got to start with the baby goat because the baby goats are freaking adorable.
As we're Nigerian, is that what you're talking about?
I don't know. I don't know my goats. I just know the little goats that are freaking cute.
Yeah.
As we're getting the pad ready for our barn, my neighbor came over with his Kubota and he started flattening some stuff out for us. And we got done. He got done. We started talking, and he goes, "You got to get goats. You got to get goats." He goes, "If anything, they're just fun to watch.
Yeah.
You got to get goats."
Yeah, exactly.
What's less to mow?
Yeah. But you
Get enough of them.
Yeah, you have to get a lot.
well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need them.
You need to get some mountain goats. Have you seen the mountain goats? Those things are crazy, man. They're like on a wall that's like that, and they're just like,
Yeah, maybe
just hanging out.
Maybe you can hire some hunts out and make some money. And, retire.
Well, unfortunately, so like I said, we have like almost 5 acres. We're in city limits, so I can't even go out and target shoot. So, but anyway,
Yeah.
they can hunt with a bow.
Ooh, yeah, you can. Yeah.
Just when you get the goats, just name them 1, 2, 3. She give them a real name, it's over.
Yeah.
my kids will kill me. Toby would be devastated. They're not going to like it when I say what we're going to do with the chickens when the time comes.
Yeah.
Give him a big buck knife and let him go.
Yeah.
Well, he did get poked in the eye. You might want a little bit of revenge.
Yeah.
Wait, just get a rooster. And,
Yeah, and that'll be
they're a little
like,
aggressive, then you'll be like, see?
Yeah. And
See, we purposely did not get a rooster because they're little,
Yeah.
Carrie does she milks the goats twice a day. And you've made yogurt out of it. And how many different kinds of cheese?
Yeah, maybe 3 or 4 kinds of cheeses.
Oh, wow.
I bet that's great.
Where'd you get those recipes?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Let me think.
Like yogurt? Oh, wow. I need to know this stuff.
Awesome.
I need to learn this.
Stone Ridge Farm, right, is where we ordered the stuff.
You made the yogurt in the Instapot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. It was really good. Really good.
I love yogurt.
Yeah. And the difference between goat milk and cow's milk is, well, I mean, there's lots of differences probably, but goat's milk doesn't separate like cow's milk. So if you have cow's milk,
The cream doesn't come off the top.
I'll say the cream on the top, though.
Yeah, that's good.
You put it in your coffee.
Even if you shake it in the morning, you use it, and then the next day you go get it, the whey or cream will be at the top, milk at the bottom. You shake it up, but goat's milk doesn't separate. It doesn't separate like that. So it's
It's good.
I mean, we got cow's milk from a friend of ours for a long time, but it's nice in the morning. When you go get your coffee, you don't have to shake the milk up. You just pour the goat milk in your coffee. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah. Tell them about our chickens. Our incubation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so the chickens slow down.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a learning process too, because we let one of our hens that was broody sit on a clutch, and they only did 1 chick out of 16 eggs. So that was kind of discouraging. So we got an incubator,
which I've heard is normal for first time broody hen. You might get, 1 hatch if she's sitting on 12 eggs. But anyway.
But in the incubator, anyway, we put 40 eggs, and we got 25, I think, between Sunday and Monday of this week. So that was great.
4 dozen in.
Yeah.
Incubator that we got from a friend, which we just put up on a card table in our living room.
Yeah.
And let it go.
So do you have a rooster, or did you bring a rooster in?
We do have a rooster,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
We do. Our normal flock is 24 hens. Got Rhode Island Reds, Barred Rock, and some Buff Orpingtons. And our rooster is a Buff Orpington.
Yeah. Nice. And this one's nice as can be.
Oh, man. Just a gentle giant. Nicest rooster.
We had another one that wasn't.
Yeah, 24 hens and a rooster. You think you need to put like a little pimp hat with a feather on it? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that dude gets laid more than you and I do in a day. than we do in a year. Okay. So, okay, but
Ain't having it tonight.
but we got 48 eggs. Eggs have to be fertilized by the rooster. So you put 48 eggs in the incubator. That rooster hasn't fertilized all those eggs, so you'll never get 48 chicks out of that,
right?
Because he's just busy. He doesn't have time. Some of those hens don't want to be.
But anyway, they are adorable.
Okay, they are adorable. Yes, they are.
You got some feminist hens that don't need no man.
No, that's right. We got get that man away.
You didn't know you were signing up for, did you?
No.
We're being pretty well behaved.
Yeah, we're being very well behaved.
Thank you.
But we thought that was pretty good. 25.
No, that's great.
Out of 48. So, and who knows? Time will tell how many of those are roosters, how many are hens. We won't want the roosters. We'll probably, raise the roosters and eat them early.
Yeah.
Hens we'll keep to replace the hens we have now.
Yeah.
Our hens now are how old?
Couple years.
So
they're really slowing down. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're kind of slowing down. Yeah. After 4 years, they were 3 or 4 years, they're really slowed down. So.
And how long does it take for a hen to start producing eggs?
Like Darryel's he's got them.
I'm thinking 4 months, but I can't remember because.
Okay, so it's not
that
quick.
long, 5 months.
Huh?
No, I think we got the first ones we bought from a farm store, and we got them in March, and I think they started laying eggs in.
I was thinking it was August.
No, I don't think so. I think it was like October, November.
I don't know.
October, November. So it takes a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But those eggs, those are pretty good eating, those eggs.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Very good.
You
Yeah.
can tell the yolk is really dark and
A lot different than a commercial.
And dude, I could probably go full carnivore diet. I probably could. Like, especially breakfast food is like my favorite. I love eggs. I love sausage. This is what I was going to say earlier. You could probably make fun of me like I love sausage. I said
Okay.
it. I love sausage. No, it's like probably my favorite food, dude. I love breakfast sausage. I love it.
Go ahead, Matt. You take care of that one, okay?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He'll probably just like cut that out and just like play it randomly.
I love sausage.
I'm a sausage gobbler.
So you just ran into a
I
soundbite
know,
right there.
I know. I'm asking for it, but yeah, I love the eggs. Way better than store bought.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Not even comparable.
Well, I tell you what, right here, right now, at least until his start producing eggs, whenever you pick up eggs, if you want to add an extra dozen, man, I will pay for them. Because I've gotten to where I'm eating 2 hard-boiled eggs a day, and then we still do we do some they're like sausage they're like breakfast sausage rolls, but they're made with coconut flour and cheese and sausage and eggs. It's a keto thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, eggs are high on my list right now, so I'd be thrilled to buy some. So,
Okay.
yeah, whenever he picks some up,
I tried to sneak Zach in front of other people, but it doesn't always work.
No, I did not ask him to do that, Carrie. I did not.
No.
I told him don't
just saying, hey,
don't
baby.
ever try to jump me in line or anything. I was like,
Zach really needs some eggs. He does. I don't think he has anything else in his refrigerator. Do you
Yeah.
think we could help him out with it?
we
like
used
at
to
work, he's so far below me in seniority at work that he
Yeah.
probably doesn't even make any
He
money.
hardly has any energy to case an email whatsoever.
we used to get my mom used to get eggs from a friend, and anyway, I don't know, his chicken's dried up or what, but she hadn't been getting them anymore. So I've been relegated to buying store bought. So I'd be more than thrilled to buy fresh eggs again.
Yeah.
So like I said, until you start producing, I'll buy some from him. But when you start getting overflow, I'll buy from you.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Darren, you came in here with some things that you wanted to share with us. Is there anything that you that you had that we haven't touched upon yet?
What's the other? I guess the only other animals we have are what, feeder steers.
Yep.
We got some steers that we're feeding out, which will the guy that has that we butcher with, Greg, that we work with, he'll take them when we decide.
I think the end of August.
And in September, and he'll start feeding them out, and we'll probably butcher November, December. Yeah.
Right on.
So we don't have any other critters, just goats, the chickens, steers, 2 dogs, 2 cats. Yeah.
What kind of dogs you got? I'm a dog guy.
We got this mutt that we got from AWOL. She actually wandered into, what was the place?
I don't know, a store downtown.
Yeah, Pennzoil.
Yeah, I think
Pennzoil
so.
place.
Yeah.
She had pups. She had big old tits. Had pups, but I don't know if somebody dumped her or what. So we got her. She's timid as can be. And we got her and brought her home, and we had gotten 2 kittens from somebody, and she started nursing those 2 kittens.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Which I guess is not too uncommon. We looked it up a little bit, but quite interesting. Of course,
I bet that helps her bond with the kittens
it did temporarily.
For a little bit.
Yeah.
for a little bit.
But
Then they got annoying.
as the kittens grew, she got to playing with them, and throw them up in the air and stuff.
Oh, poor kitties.
I've seen my dogs do that with the squirrel. It's fun.
Yeah, it didn't work out too well in the end.
Matt's the dog guy. I'm the cat guy. He's got like a billion dogs. I've got 4 cats at home and then more running around outside. So
yeah. I would
I
say
have 2 dogs and 2 cats.
all right.
you're the same as us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess other thing we talked about is kind of how we landscape yard. When we bought that place, everybody would tell me, when you buy a place, we're getting older, in our upper 40s, so trees, get your trees in, plant your trees. What we did a food forest. Food forest is kind of like an orchard, not really an orchard. A food forest is, they call it a forest because it's like a forest that we'd see if we went and actually saw a forest. You got your tall trees, you got your canopy underneath, you got your lower shrubs, you got your plants, and then you got stuff that's growing at ground level. You have your stuff that's growing under the ground. Food forest just takes care of itself. So we planted food forest.
So you're not, so just so I'm getting this straight, so I can envision this, you're not just planting like rows of one kind of thing. It's kind of interspersed and mixed together.
Absolutely.
So, okay.
Right. Yeah. You're talking monoculture, like your yard is monoculture. Monocultures really don't have too great of a benefit unless you're a commercial farmer and you got to fill full of corn or fill full of beans.
And it's not something you're going to see in nature necessarily.
No.
Right.
Yeah. So we did
Fruit trees.
And we did we started with the back to Eden method. If you get online, you look up back to Eden method, like in Genesis, back to Eden is where things are all natural. And what we did, and what he does, the guy that did the back to Genesis, he puts cardboard down for whatever food forest area you have, and then you layer it with mulch, 6 to 8 inches of mulch, and then you plant your stuff inside that area. So we did fruit trees kind of as upper canopy. We came down to shrubs. We have blackberries, raspberries,
Gooseberries, elderberries, you name it.
Elderberries, and then down to the herbaceous, we did comfrey, which is like a whole nother podcast talking about comfrey.
You can feed it to your chickens.
Yeah, good protein source. You can dry out.
We have a mulberry tree, and our chicken loves it.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So, and then you have, like your
garlic underneath that.
That would be your underground level, and then you have we do kind of a ground cover. We have strawberries. I mean, you could do several different things, and then you want to do vines. There's 7 layers, and vine is one of the layers.
Okay.
We did. I don't know what we have.
Thyme, sage, like all kinds of.
We have
Herbs
all
that kind of thing.
Yeah. And we have asparagus in it. Blackberries, raspberries. We have
lemon balm.
We have almond tree, apple trees.
Anything that you like, you could put in there, really.
Peach trees.
Sounds
just
fantastic.
whatever you want. But
that's amazing.
The system is food forest. The idea is to make it as natural as possible, where it just takes care of itself. So everything benefits other things. Your tall canopies would be nitrogen trees, like locust trees that drop their pods and supplies nitrogens. You have the lower canopy of fruit trees that don't need all as much direct sun, and then you got stuff underneath that, and everything just works together.
That's amazing.
It just works together like nature, like God designed it, not like man screws up stuff. And part of what we try is more conservation, land conservation, just trying to get everything back to nature, back to the way it was, get the soil back, plants back, animal life back. Mm-hmm. We're in a program now with our back acreage, where it's through the state of Kansas. It's called First Habitat, where you can apply. They'll help you. What we're going to try to do is put it back to pollinators. We have poor soil, rock underneath our soil, just a couple inches, where we can't go back with native grasses or anything like that. So we want to go back with a pollinator. So the state will help us. They'll help pay for, and I hate to use it, but this has been ate down by the goats and ponies, and where it's just poor land. So what you have to do, the thing to do is this is a time where you have to use Roundup. You go in and you kill everything off.
Yeah.
You take a soil sample and you put whatever fertilizer needs to go back. Ours is low in phosphorus. So we've spread phosphorus, and then we'll go back and kill it one more time and get everything down. Then we'll come back, and the state will help us pay for the Roundup, and the state will help us pay back to go with a pollinator seed mix to bring it back to natives, all native pollinators. Yes. And that will eventually, hopefully, take over. We'll plug it with some milkweeds and whatnot, and it'll just get it back to nature, and then it'll just take care of itself. Sometimes there's few times when Roundup's needed. This is one where you have such a man has abused by their management practices, so you have to go back, kill everything out, and kind of start over.
Yeah, but is that something that burning wouldn't solve?
Burning would help kill. Yes, and with this, how we're going to do this, we'll eventually burn like every 2 or 3 years, not at the same time as regular farmers burn, because we're trying to kill off different things, but it's still we just want a clean slate. Burning won't totally clean the slate. So
okay,
it's anything under the soil would still kind of be there. Is that the thing?
Well, we just want to.
I don't know how it works. I'm ignorant on it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm not exactly. We're working with a biologist.
Okay.
Out of I think Fall River is where she's out of, but yeah, she kind of has it all figured out for us.
Right on.
Burning would help control weeds, but it's just that I think we just want to get a total kill.
And then build on top of, and then from that, burning would replenish.
You're right. And whatever burning does eliminate some weeds, but we just want. I think her idea is just just a totally clean slate.
Clean slate. Yeah.
So when those we'll plant in wintertime, and when those pollinator plants start coming up, they'll have like whole less lot competition from weeds and whatnot.
Yeah. Bringing up the word pollinator, have you guys considered bees?
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been asked by several people. We actually have a good friend who is they homeschool. Cari's good friends with his wife. He's in charge of the Beekeepers Association here in town, and he's asked us, and we've had Cari's aunt and uncles with bees, but we haven't done it.
It's kind of one of those things like
how much is too much?
Maybe later. Yeah.
Maybe later. We have a lot of maybe laters, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing with homesteading. You start one thing, and then you want to do another thing, and then you want to do another thing. It's just like we sampled, making our own wine.
Oh, nice.
And stuff like that.
I did that too in high school.
Yeah. What was that called?
I don't remember. There was a lot of sugar and it was fermented.
Yeah.
Prison wine.
Yeah, prison wine.
Yeah, at least it wasn't mixed in a toilet, by God.
Yeah, just a black, maybe possibly recycled bag that you found.
It wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much gas fermentation puts off.
It is. Yeah.
No, I've been real interested in bees. I'm in town. I have a lot and a half, but I don't.
But
bees, I think, would be interesting. there's a family in Coffeyville that has bees, and they started raising bees because their grandson or granddaughter, one of the grandchildren, really, really bad allergies, and so they produce the local honey, and
I swear by it.
Really?
I swear by it.
See, I've got bad allergies.
That honey is amazing.
That's what I want to start doing.
They're the guy that we're friends with. He sells honey at the farmer's market here in town, but he's in charge of it, and we'll be happy to.
All right. Is that the guy you're talking about?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Because Crystal talked to him last Saturday.
Yeah.
And everything that they post on Facebook, she reposts. And he actually was kind enough. This speaks to what the character of this guy. He's like, said, we've noticed how much you're trying to promote our product and everything, and gave her just gave her a small little thing of honey.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Well, and you can use honey for anything that you use sugar for.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll put honey in oatmeal. I'll put honey in unsweetened cereal because I'm a sugar kid. So. I like sweet. Peanut butter and honey. It's just
and Cari does some with herbs and what I was getting to, our landscape we kind of did where it's edible landscape, even right around the house. Even though we have the food forest where we have borage, coneflowers, stuff that's medicinal or herbs that you can use. What else do we have? Calendula. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she does elderberry syrup. That's what's supposed to be really good.
We do that every morning. We take a spoonful of elderberry syrup. Yeah.
We
I haven't ever had the syrup.
Yeah, you can make that yourself. Cari makes
should.
it. It's awesome, and she makes it with
Awesome.
honey.
I've had jelly. I've had elderberry jelly.
Yes, my
And that's
grandma.
really good.
My grandma.
I'm ahead of everybody, so
It's really, really high in vitamin C. It's really good for your immune system.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your father
awesome.
smells like it.
Oh. Go where I will taunt you a second time.
Sorry, it's going to go into a movie reference at some point.
Yeah. Matt's the king of movie references.
Yeah.
We haven't even touched upon that, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, my grandma Louie, she made the best elderberry jelly. I remember when I was a kid. Yeah. But she makes elderberry syrup that we take and the kids take. And
Just to boost your immune system.
We do too. That's awesome.
Cold or flu. I mean,
Yeah.
Sure.
Or COVID.
I think it really helps. Yeah. Well, we might have COVID. I mean, we don't wear masks, so possibly.
Here we are.
I am, Brooke's a nurse, so I go on her advice, and I do wear masks to the different places I go because I work on copiers, so I cover the region. So who knows what I'm going into, right? So I'll wear a mask.
Oh, you're so heavy.
Yeah. I had a point, but then I got fat.
Sorry. you go around the region and
Yeah.
Does it have wheels? Are they stuck? Are the wheels stuck?
Yeah, that's the story. I'm going to go with that.
the brakes are on.
Oh, okay.
But
It's my first and last podcast.
Yeah, we will wait for you no more.
but I don't know that. I think it helps. It's like anything else. If you blow through a mask, all the air you're blowing is not going to go through that mask. Same as coming in. So it's going to filter it some. It may not do it.
That's what I always say. Hey, if I go in and I sneeze on your face,
yeah.
If you're not wearing a mask, it's gonna be
You're
disgusting.
gonna get it all.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's gonna be gross. Anyway, yeah. You get where I'm going with this.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think to each their own. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to shake itself out. So
Yeah.
Let's hope sooner than later.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the craziness.
People are divided. I mean, it's one way or the other. It's almost like
it's the stupidest shit.
Civil War potential.
I haven't condemned a single person for not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
I mean, I work at where there's a lot of people, so I wear my mask, but I mean, I'm not going to be mad if somebody steps up next to me at a grocery store. I will be a little bit mad if you encroach on my personal space. I'm like, hey, get off me.
I mean, I don't have any problem with 6 foot distance because I don't like people in my space.
Right. Well,
I'll quit trying to touch your butt at work. I'm sorry. All right, fine.
That gets a little close to me at work.
out of every place, the one place I would wholeheartedly recommend wearing a mask is Walmart.
Probably.
If you got to go into Walmart, just wear a mask.
Well, and even
just don't go into Walmart. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
even before all this
Homestead,
COVID stuff,
and then you won't have to. By God,
when I go in there, and even before all the COVID stuff, I'm like, this is disgusting. Like hundreds of people have probably touched this all day long. I'm washing my hands right afterwards.
Right.
So and I don't mean to be a germaphobe. I'm generally not a germaphobe.
Touching a cart at Walmart is like watching a stripper lick the pole. It's just nasty. Shit ain't right.
Oh my goodness.
I had to get one in. Come on, I had to get one in.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, is there anything that you guys would like to add before we let you go on the topic of homesteading?
I don't think so. What do you think? I'd just say, just start with one thing. If you're interested, just start with one thing and, get that thing down. And, it's just a domino effect.
There's a ton of resources out there online or in books, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, and I got lots of books, but I'm really not a big reader. Got a lot of books, just haven't read.
Got a lot of books for Cari, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Darren's a doer, not a reader. He's a doer.
Hey, babe, what do I need to do?
I got this book for us.
Yeah, actually, I've given her a few books, but I don't know.
I really love the idea of the food forest. That's something I did not know about at all.
No, that's awesome, and I didn't even get to set in on all of it.
Well, it's a good thing it's recorded, and my wife generally I don't think that she really even listens to everything that we do. But I'll be like, you got to listen to this one, and you need to wait till the end because there's something you're really gonna love.
So Matt talked about a stripper pole.
That was it. That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
And on that food forest, even we have more room, but even somebody that has a small lot, there's a food guild, and the food guild is just simple. The concept is if you put a apple tree in your front yard, instead of letting grass grow up to that apple tree, why not put something edible or some herbs around that tree?
Just something that needs partial sunlight.
Yeah.
Not full sun.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
with all the biodiversity where things working together like God intended, and
Synergy.
Man has such an idea. It's just like even if you live in a community that has, what do they call it, the laws where you can't build a fence or whatever that's called. I can't remember what it's called.
Can you tell we've been married? Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the word. Yeah.
Cari, I have to ask her, and she finishes my sentences. But anyway, even if you have that where you can't put gardening or something, you can foodscaping. Foodscaping is where you put a plant in that's edible in your landscape. And people don't pay attention. It's flowering. It's a beautiful plant. Nobody. A lot of people don't know what the plant is.
Sure.
So you could put
marijuana.
Hey,
no, I was
man.
just kidding.
Hey,
They legalize it here. There's your food forest right there.
Speaking of that, and when we lived in the suburbs, we had several marijuana plants growing in our yard. Birds deposited.
Accidentally.
We were not growing it. In fact, I took.
How exactly does that happen?
Birds do that. Yeah. Birds do that. They just shit them out that little hole. And
there it goes.
Dude, it was the birds, I swear.
Yeah.
I don't know how well that played with the cops, but I've heard that. I've heard of that stuff. Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, we lived in the country, and we had a ditch. People had ditches back then where you'd put all your canned goods and your glass and all your crap. You'd burn the paper and you'd put all this in a ditch. Well, we had a bunch of marijuana plants. I was just a little kid, and I remember my dad, he knew what they were, and he called the sheriff, and next thing we knew, we were kids. We were probably in second grade, and we had police cars coming out. Channel 7 band came out, and they filmed it and put it on the nightly news.
Oh my goodness!
And they showed his house and his barn, and he wasn't very happy about it. But birds had planted it in the ditch.
I think what cracks me up is when they confiscate all of it and make a big pile of it and then light it on fire.
And then stand around and
I'm just thinking of the home that that's downwind is like,
whoa,
honey, we need to get some Cheetos.
You can't homestead Cheetos, or can you?
Well, I'm sure
Probably not.
Probably not.
I'm sure. Get on YouTube. I bet there's a recipe.
Well, that might be the next big thing.
Maybe with goat milk. What do you think? Make some Cheetos with
goat milk Cheetos. All right.
I'm down.
All right. Well, Cari, Darin, Darryel, really appreciate your time. This has been really informative, and I just want to say that I really we've been having a lot of musicians on lately, probably just because we know a lot of musicians.
Yeah, I mean, it's the easiest well to draw from.
Right, and that is super interesting, but this is a really nice change of pace, and I feel like I really learned a lot from all of you. So I just really appreciate you coming to talk with us today.
We didn't learn anything from Darryel. Let's clarify that. He came here to learn himself.
Oh, I just came to drink beer and listen to some cool stuff. So.
All right, well, that's all right.
Then I go home and wife's going to add to my honeydew list.
Yeah, man, that's what I do every time.
Eventually, I'm getting eggs from this guy.
Eventually, I'm going to get eggs.
Yeah.
So
tell them I'm going to get eggs from this guy.
4 months?
I was thinking, that's not a whole long time.
Late fall, I would say.
Well, I think they're 2 months right now. Maybe a little over maybe 2.5, 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. Marcy pays more attention to it than I do. So
yeah,
I don't know.
So maybe she should have came.
I guess so. I'm sure when I told her we were going to have some folks at Homestead, she was like, "Really?" And then anyway, so
yeah.
Well, good. Yeah. Maybe she'll listen to it too. And share with friends. And if you're listening, we'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the podcast. And if you're on YouTube, you can click that little bell icon to be notified of new episodes. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, really anywhere that you get your podcasts. So we appreciate you listening, watching us on YouTube. Go ahead and comment also. Why not?
Don't take off yet. We got to check our poker hands.
Oh, shit. We almost forgot.
Should I open another beer? I got 4. How many you got?
I got 4.
I got 5.
All right.
I drink a lot.
All right. Let's
when I podcast, I drink a lot. So I'll throw out my low card.
No, wait. We're going to get another one.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah, sure.
Well, he's going to get 3 more? What?
You only had 3. Good thing I primed before we came.
Darin, are you low? All right. Here, we got a stash. We got a stash of other.
He can draw from.
Doing this randomly.
I have 3. Okay.
PBR poker.
PBR poker.
I got a pair of 7s.
Matt, you're beating me like 3-1. Is that right? Is that what we said?
I think so.
Something like that.
Yeah. You have a pair of 7s?
I got a pair of 7s.
Man, I just have a pair of 5s. You beat me.
Oof.
I got a pair of 3s.
Oof. I got smoked. I got ace high.
Darryel, first time.
Dang.
First time podcast, first time winner. All right.
Man, congratulations.
What do I win?
You can have
a hearty handshake.
You can have another
Social
beer.
distancing. Yeah. All right.
Social distancing.
Well, all right. Again, appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. This
you.
Informative and fun and yeah, I need to start my garden again. Not this year, obviously, but
I picked.
Quick question.
Inspiration.
Quick question before we go away.
Fall gardening.
That's what I was getting ready to ask. What do you do cold weather gardening wise?
Cold weather crops.
Kale, lettuce, carrots.
We actually had low tunnel the last 2 years where you make a low tunnel and we have kale, carrots, spinach, and it grows slower, but we just made it with PVC and plastic on top, and it's about 40 foot long. It's called low tunnel, and we'd harvest about every 2 weeks, and we get a dish pan full of greens.
That's awesome. That's
all through the winter.
I did broccoli one time.
Yeah.
And I did it like my normal garden. So when it's not cold, broccoli just grows long and wild.
Yep.
It is not the tight. it was wow. So
our broccoli did not do well this year. We had a few sprouts.
Granted, it tasted just like broccoli and it was great, but it was just like all over the place.
Yeah. I've heard I heard you got to like rubber band them or something. Is that right? Have you heard that?
Just do it in the colder weather.
Yeah.
We started early, and you get on broccoli, you get one main head that's pretty compact.
Mm-hmm.
You cut that, and then you'll get little heads that you can harvest after that. So,
right.
And once it gets, you want to get it, harvest it, cut it down to, closer to the base underneath it when it's tight. You don't want it to spread out any, or it's like yours.
It's like, what is this? This is broccoli.
It goes fast too. It goes fast.
Our zucchini, our squash, and our banana peppers have been doing great. We finally got tomatoes to start. Yeah. But they're still pretty green. So
this year's a hard year with May was up and through May was so wet, and May was a cool month. That's why.
Yeah, we planted a little late.
Yeah.
So I think. Yeah. Well, again, my wife did it. So.
Well, I mean, if it's cool out, it was better to plant late.
Yeah.
But
and I think that's why most people have corn and tomatoes by 4th of July, and it was pretty scarce at the farmers market. I think one person had tomatoes and one person had corn.
Right.
So, pretty sparse. Yeah.
Yeah, we originally were going to do some corn, but we ran out of room in our beds. I don't know. We tried something new this year, and so I just helped. I just did what it's told. So I was like, okay.
It puts the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again.
Get out there and put that soil in those garden beds. Yes, ma'am. All right. Anyway.
Oh, teamwork is part of the team.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
I'll be digging holes next week. I got to get my barbed wire fence in.
Yeah. All right. So we had our side tangent. There you go.
All right. Well, I guess we're out of here. Thanks again for listening, everybody.
Peace.
Bye.